Senior Project Superintendent at the Inspirata Pointe project. And I'll introduce Glenn here in just a minute. Sean couldn't make it. He had a family engagement this morning. So his son turned 14 today, so he was doing a little birthday thing and taking his son to school. So that's a good thing. So welcome to the construction update for the month of October. We'll recap what we did in October and then move forward with some stuff for upcoming work. So if you want to go on to the next slide. And this is a picture you guys have all seen before. It's just the rendering of what it looks like out from above Royal Oak Road looking to the south. All right, here's a more current image. Almost looks the same. But we're getting there. We got more buildings coming on. All right, yeah, nice bright yellow there. That goes away Monday morning. All right. So as we've done in the past, our agenda contains the safety share, the project overview update, current photos, upcoming work, and we have that on there for the bottom for questions and answers. But you guys all know well enough that we're totally open to questions and answers throughout. So please don't wait. If you do have a question, give us a minute to get a mic over to you or speak loud enough so I can hear your question and repeat it because we do have folks viewing, right? So, and then also for those that are watching on closed circuit TV, on the bottom of the slides, there are images or there's a phone number for Gretchen's phone number. If you'd like to text in questions, feel free to send them that way. It's been successful the last couple of months, so thank you for doing that. So moving on, Glenn Casada is with us today. He's a project engineer, just got promoted to project engineer step 2 last week. So he's been with the organization for 6 years, does a really great job. He's another one of the guys that does the behind the scenes work with us. Glenn does a lot of the really intricate structural questions with the engineers and goes through and does a lot of submittal review and all sorts of myriad of behind the scenes work that happens to support us out in the field in the front lines. So Glenn and I have worked together. We did Harrah's Auction Casino down in Maricopa before. And Glenn also has on his resume, he has some senior living right down the road at another community. So he's done this kind of work before, and we're happy to have him on the team, and we're excited to introduce him. So Glenn, do you have anything else to add?
No, thank you. Thank you. It's a little jarring being in front of so many people, but I'll do my best to not shake when I'm speaking.
Just hold on to the podium if you
for
need
dear
to.
life. But no, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. That pretty much covers who
good.
I am. Yeah.
All right. We'll get into some more personal stuff in a minute here.
Yep. So for the safety share, I wanted to take a couple minutes and share with you guys kind of some of the things that we do on the job site to share our appreciation to the guys in terms of the safety and them working safely on a daily basis. So this happened, we had a safety recognition in the 22nd, which is
week and a half ago.
About a week and a half ago. And during this safety recognition, we had a couple executives show up to our job site and walk with us and to make sure that the craft sees the full support of Sundt as an organization, not just on a project level, but on an executive level as well. So for our appreciation, we had Terry Jones, which is the senior VP of the building group for our company, come out to our job site. This is a person, an individual who has the opportunity to walk job sites in California, in Texas, in Arizona. And we have several wood frame buildings going on at one time. So she walked the site. Todd Ganter had the opportunity to walk with her throughout the site. And one of the comments she made was that she was very, very impressed with our job site, not only for the cleanliness and the safety portion of it, but just how the atmosphere of everybody on site. She had and the quality as well, yeah. So she, like I said, she has an opportunity to walk several job sites throughout a couple of states, and she was deeply appreciative of all the good work that we're doing here. To get a compliment like that from somebody higher up in the company who has seen hundreds of projects going on at once is a big deal for us as a site team. In addition to that, we also had Reese Fortin, who is the Southwest District Building Group Area Manager. So essentially, similar role, she gets to walk from one site to the other throughout the state, or the divisions, which is California, Arizona, and Texas. And Reese, her job is mainly safety, is her main concern. So she's got a very keen eye for looking at the practices at a job site and pointing out what's correct, what's not correct, what's a hazardous situation or a potential injury. So she walked the job site, and again, we received nothing but praise from her, saying that we were doing a great job, and the attitude of all the crafts and the supervision was nothing but great and supportive of our safety culture. So those were two great things to hear from our executives about our job site. We took those comments and we shared them with all our trades as well, so they could tell their guys, and to serve as a bit of a motivation for them to keep doing a really good job on our job site. So for our safety recognition, we had a lunch for the guys. Um, what we did is we catered in some, I think it was some burritos, some Chipotle burritos. Due to the COVID situation, we want to make sure we're observing some guidances from to minimize the spread. So we did individual burritos to the guys. Gretchen was there. Thank you for joining us. And so we had a luncheon, and in addition to that, we had some raffle tickets. And the purpose of the raffle tickets is to serve as recognition for the guys. So when we're walking the job site on a daily basis, if we see an individual who's doing an exceptionally good job in terms of safety, what we do is we carry some raffle tickets with us. We give him a ticket, write his name down, his company, and we put it in a bag for later use during one of our lunch recognitions. In addition to that, everybody who shows up to the lunch recognition gets one additional ticket for joining us and participating in it. At the end of the lunch, we had several prizes, and you can see Todd holding up right there some Milwaukee tools. The prices range from iPads to earphones to tools to, there was even a karaoke speaker that one of our trade partners won. So it's a bit of an incentive for the guys to show up and participate on our safety culture to make sure that we keep working as safely as we can. And then personally, this is why I work safe. I have a 6-year-old daughter who depends on me. And if there was anything that happened to me, if I, cut my finger or, anything worse, she would directly suffer some of those consequences of me just not being around her, not being able to provide for her. So personally, I need to keep working so I can buy her some more watermelon because she really, really likes it.
Awesome. Next, we're going to go into our project overview and update, but Glenn, keep rolling with the next slide because I think it's pretty cool what you put together.
Yeah, so we wanted to put together a little fun fact for you guys. So
real quick, the reason why we're doing a different fun fact, because I think you guys are probably getting tired of concrete stuff, right? We can say that Sean's not here. So, no, we have a little different one. We'll keep introducing new ones because we've had stuff on lumber before. We've had a couple of different, concrete pump trucks. We've had yards placed, etc. So Glenn did some really good research the last couple days and put together some cool information.
Yeah, and I got some assistance from our electrical subcontractor too. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, so in terms of wire, I mean, think about wire. You've got outlets, you've got lights, you've got fans, you've got refrigerators you got to hook up. Anything electrical has some wire running to it. So I asked her, hey, what is our estimated wireage for the entire site? So she came up with a crazy spreadsheet. She did some estimates, and she said, well, for feeder wire, and this is, it's called 2-aught. It's basically some heavy gauge wire, and you can see it here in the gray and black. Feeder wire, we're gonna have approximately 153,000 lineal feet of feeder wire. Then in addition to that, when you add up other electrical like lights and then the Romex, which is the yellow wire that you see on the screen, that's an additional 802,000 lineal feet. That's nearly 1,000,000 lineal feet of wire going into this project. So I was curious how much that was in terms of real world, right? Because that's a big number, 1,000,000 lineal feet. It's hard to imagine. So I mapped out from Royal Oaks community to Lake Havasu is about 1,000,000 feet. So you could get from here to Lake Havasu with our wiring for this project. And a tiny little fun fact within a fun fact is in Lake Havasu, we actually built the London Bridge that you see on the picture. That was a Sundt project. And it was painstakingly removed brick by brick from its original location and then painstakingly, brick by brick, rebuilt at Lake Havasu. So, yep.
Awesome, Glenn. Thank you. Good stuff. Yeah, that's a great fun fact within a fun fact. Way to go.
Yeah.
All right. So next we have the monthly drone image. You figured out how to stop it, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good job. Good test. All right. Cool. Let's stop here. So this is an image looking towards the east. So this is building B. It doesn't quite look like that now because we already have a second floor on it as of, by the way this video was taken the 27th. So as of this week, we've got a second floor on it. This is building C. The masonry stairs is topped out. The scaffolding's coming down. The elevator will be topped out this week. You can see that we've got a fair amount of Tyvek and lath on A1, A2 as well. And putting windows in A2. Windows are done in A1. And then I'm going to spin around. Sorry, Glenn, you get to look at my back. This is building D. This is the concrete placement that'll happen at 2 a.m. on Monday morning. It has all the post-tension cables and rebar in there now. This is, we call it the west wing over here. This is up through the 4th floor. And then we're going to be framing walls in the 2nd floor of the east wing, or building E. In the far background, it might be a little bit tough to discern, but when we get flying around the drone image, you'll get a chance to see this is the building F, the fun building, the bar. We didn't forget about building it, don't worry. It's just a little slow to the draw. We had some other things pressing to get going on some other buildings, so that's coming out of the ground and coming to fruition. You'll start actually seeing some columns. Structural steel columns got delivered this morning, and we'll start standing those. So, all right, you want to pause here? So again, you get a view from looking to the south. On the top of the screen there is Grand Avenue. So you get kind of an idea of how we're trying to really make it look like that rendering that we showed you early on. It's coming pretty close. Who took this image?
Dean.
Dean, okay. We have, Sundt has pilots, right? We call them pilots, but they fly drones. And we have to call them pilots because they go through an FAA certification. Because of the size of the drone, if it's over so many ounces, you have to register it, and especially since we're within proximity of a helipad for the airport, or for the hospital, and then we're also close to Glendale Airport, we have to have, and because we're flying over an occupied job site, we have to have a pilot's registered through the FAA. Great little interesting thing that we should all give Glenn applause for. Glenn took the FAA exam last week and he passed. So,
Thank you.
Glenn's a certified pilot.
Thank you.
For a drone. He'll have to keep his feet on the ground, but
in my defense,
his dreams
it's a pretty
can fly.
big drone. I mean, it's almost a pound, so.
Okay, it's big. You just keep your feet firmly planted on the ground.
Exactly.
All right, keep rolling to the video. All right, if you want to pause here. This has been bothering me for a little while because I haven't really explained to you guys. We've got these things, I call them little landmines all over the place. They're just everywhere, the little holes, and those are all the changes in direction of where Southwest Gas puts their natural gas line in. So every time they change direction, we have to leave the pit open and exposed. The good news is by the end of the week, we will have the last little bit of natural gas in as far as the sleeving, And within a week and a half, we will have all the underground natural gas in and completed and backfilled and behind us. So that'll be like the last of the major dry utilities. Yes, sir. Where is Glenn standing? Glenn was standing on the ground. I think. Let's see. Where does Dean? Dean's sometimes usually parks back over here in our craft parking area, and he
Correct.
flies from there. Does that answer your question? Oh, you're welcome. Good question. Thank you. All right, man. Oh, the question is where is the garage going to be? The garage is hidden. It's gone. No, it's all underneath here. It runs back through here, encompasses this, and all through here, and back over. And this is the ramp that gets you down into the garage. It's 75,000 square feet. 100 and, what do we say, 145 parking stalls?
And 41 golf cart
That's
spaces.
the most important thing.
With 23 chargers.
Charging stations. I'm glad you're in the front row.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Awesome. Yes, sir. The question is how many elevators have access to the garage? Glenn, do you know that answer?
4.
3 that Royal Oaks residents will be able to use, but
Correct.
a 4th one goes from building F down to the lower level. That's going to be for back of house service, but you're right.
The fun room.
Yeah, the
The
fun
fun
building.
building,
Does that answer your question? Okay. Was there one more? Building which one? B. Could I point out building B, building Bravo? Building B is this one, right? This one. See, I have B1 and B2 on my drawing, so I get them confused and I forgot to memorize. So this is building B here, and this is C. I probably said it backwards. I'm sorry. So B, C, D, E, and fun. Is that excellent? Yeah, I said it backwards. I get it confused. Boy, you got to read the several different iterations of the drawings. They give you 4 different names in there too. So please forgive me for being incorrect. Yes, sir. The question is natural gas, other than cooking, what else will it be used for? All right. Well, natural gas does come into Building D for the food service. You are absolutely correct. Natural gas does not feed A1 or A2. It does not feed the villas, but it does come into C, and it goes under, in through the garage, and in the back of house space in the northwest corner of the garage is where the boiler system is for the hot water heaters. So you've got a hot water heater for buildings B and C, and another system for building D and E. So that it heats, it's for heating hot water, or domestic hot water. Does that answer your question? Okay, good. The question is, what kind of system do we have for the villas? So that as far as the domestic hot water has electric water heaters in each garage unit, along with water softeners there as well. No, heating is not hot water. Heating is part of the
VRF.
Thank you. VRF, variable refrigerant system. So it's a condensing unit that spins one direction to provide cooling, and it's got a reversing valve in it that goes ahead and produces heat. Correct. Yes, they are roof mounted in the center of the villas, and they will actually get flown into place Monday morning. Perfect. Good questions. Great questions. All right. What else we got, Glenn? All right. You can see the hospital in the background, so we're looking to the west there, if you want to pause right there. So we did get around to it. You can see that the building F is here, F and F.1. And then here is the stair tower and the elevator. This is the 4th elevator that Glenn was talking about that goes down to the food service storage area. And then here's the ramp to the parking garage there that comes in from the south cul-de-sac in that area. Yes, sir. There's a breezeway in between. They're detached from each other. Correct. All right. Yes, sir. Way too close. The question is how close is the gas line to the entry of the garage? Way too close. No, it runs right off the top of the toe here. So it's got its required coverage of 24 inches. That's what Southwest Gas requires for the 2 pounds of pressure that's in that gas line. So. Oh, the set above. Oh, yeah, those are above grade. Those the ones for building F because it's a higher volume that goes there because of the requirements for the food service. That the gas train itself is 7 feet 11 inches long, and that will be sitting right in about this location over here. So it's not in yet. We won't put it in until we absolutely need it. We'll take our natural gas and bring it to a point underground where it's going to turn up at the riser, but we'll leave it capped off below ground for safety, just because, number one, we don't need it, and number two, why have it out there? Because with some of the guys, they'll use it as a target. And I'm not into natural gas leaks. That's a whole lot of not fun in my world. All right. Okay, Glenn, keep flying. All right. As we come over the southeast corner, you want to pause? Oh, this is even more fun. I like this. So this is great. So this is we're starting to do some waterproofing over this is level 4, right? We have so much work that's available down below in the villas that we are doing a procedure of putting some rubberized peel and stick membrane over various walls that are fire rated. So we're doing some preventative measures in case a weird storm comes out of nowhere here in Arizona. We're kind of in the dry season, right? But rains are coming in January. We're doing preemptive stuff to get items such as the corridor and the demising walls between units. We've gone through and put this waterproofing system over the top of the deck there. It'll get encapsulated in the gypsum concrete overlayment, but we're doing that so we can keep trucking down below safely by putting in an insulation and sheetrock and things of that, and keep the rest of the trades busy going with all sorts of available work down below. So this is building D, the west wing we call it, and this is the 4th floor deck, as you can see here. We got one more floor to go, and we'll be hitting that. We'll starting that middle of next week, the 4th floor. Yes. The crane. You guys have heard about material shortages, manpower shortages, equipment shortages. Who'd have thought, right? So no, the crane got held up on another. It was supposed to be out here this morning at 7. I got a call yesterday at 3:15 that says it didn't finish up on its other job. And I was like, well, cranes, you just can't go to Home Depot and rent one. So we're kind of at their mercy. They're coming out tomorrow morning. So we'll have a crane that will go through and it'll set up right in this region here, and it'll fly the stairs down into this hole. So we'll start that operation tomorrow, and then be on that for a couple of days, and then we'll go over to this stair tower in building E, and then we'll head over to building C, and then B. So crane will be here for a while. We'll have a second crane on Monday. That's like I just mentioned a few minutes ago. That'll be setting the condensing units on top of the villas, A1 and A2, in that exact order. That's a short duration. He'll only be here for maybe 4 or 5 hours, but that other crane for setting the stairs will be here for a couple weeks. So anyway, it'll be new fun stuff to look at, big boy toys. All right, if you want to keep flying. So this is the South Drive with buildings D and E here. So you can see that right now, the way it looks is all of this is laid out for where the wall lines go. You can see we've had, at the time of this drone image, we had walls laying, pallets of walls, prefabricated walls that are fabricated about 5 miles down the road. They're just laying around the perimeter of the building. Most of those pallets of wall panels are up on the deck and just ready to shake a few guys free from building C to get over there and start putting those up next week. Yes?
Supposedly building C is the next one to be done after the villa, but it looks like all the other ones are much further done than building C.
That is correct. So the comment was, it looks like building C is the next one to be done, but it looks like buildings D and E are ahead of that. That is correct. It is It is just merely out of the fact that we found, in the construction team, we found available real estate to build in that wasn't affected by the garage excavation, so we built on it. So, because, I'll get to your point in just a second. If you give me a few minutes to get through the rest of this image, and when we get another aerial image, I'll explain exactly why we're at where we're at. You want to keep flying, Glenn? All right. So this is building C from from north to south, and then flying from C over to B. Must have flew in the morning, judging by the shadows.
Yeah. It's pretty early.
Yeah, lots of good overhead imagery. There's the bar. You see your bar stool yet? I see Gretchen in there handing out drink tickets. All right, this is A2. We're fully scaffolded, fully dried in. Windows are going in right now. And then the A1 that we've got production sheetrock going on the second floor right now. First floor is sheetrocked out completely. Corner bead is starting to go on today in units 101 through 104. Some things we haven't touched on that are kind of the behind the scenes stuff. The elevators for both A1 and A2 are done. They're installed and they're not up and operational just because we don't have all of the electric in the main electric room done. We do have electric to the buildings. You'll see here in just another minute. But the elevators are done, so it's nice. Some elevator A1's been done for probably 2.5 months. Elevator A2 was lost in transit somewhere across the country. At least that's the story they're telling us. They found some parts in Kentucky and they found some parts in Long Beach, and they couldn't put it all together. But the point is we have all the parts and they are all in, and the elevator does go up and down. It's just not open for construction traffic just because, number one, the electric isn't completed, and number two, even if it was completed, we don't want guys getting inside the really nice elevator. So they can take the stairs just like I can. All right. Cool. So we're getting an image from right at about the ceiling height, the 4th floor of building D. You can see the cables going in, the post-tension cables going across the slab there. And then building E. Looks nice and clean. Good job, Glenn. All right. Cool. Good imagery. So now the deal is no pressure. So you guys just got to pull Glenn aside afterwards and tell him his drone flight's got to get better than that. He can do it. Awesome. Thanks, Glenn. All right. So some more progress photos that may not have been captured in the drone imagery. Let's see, I think we kind of talked about this. This is from the southeast corner, looking towards the northwest. So we have craft personnel working in every building on the job site right now, between drywallers in A1 to MEP, HVAC trades in A2 to masons in B to wood framing in C, D, E, and underground and concrete guys in building F. Oh yeah, we also have guys down in the parking garage putting up sprinkler pipe and receiving some equipment down there. We're using that as kind of a job site storage. We got wood doors coming in, so those are going to be housed down there. We've received the boilers and all the mechanical stuff that goes in the back of house spaces in the garage that service buildings B, C, D, and E. So that's all the stuff that's totally behind the scenes.
Todd, how many people do you have working on the job site right now?
Let's see. I looked yesterday, and I think we were at 155. So not where I'd like it to be. I'd like it to be about 200 or 225, but I'd also like to be done next week, and that's not happening either. So, but anyway, so here's some ground images. We just decided to walk around with the camera and take some pictures. You can see this is what it looks like when you drive into our job site. Please don't do that, by the way. But when we drive into the job site, this is what we see coming off of Santa Fe Drive. This is the south elevation of building D. And this was a few days ago. It's obviously roofed in now, or it's got a deck on it now. So I was telling you guys up in the villas, we had monumental success last month with APS. APS pulled all their feeder wire in, and we have energized gear in the villas. So this happens to be the energized gear here. This is the A1 building. So in here is the meter section, and then all of these buckets that are in here are the individual breakers that go out and feed each of the 8 units in A1. There's a very similar image, just the opposite side of what it looks like in A2. But what's really great is because we had our trade partners between our stucco guys and our electricians and our painter and our concrete guy, I go, we got to get all this stuff done, guys. APS is coming. We've got to make them successful. And when somebody says you're getting power, like you jump through hoops to make it happen. So in a matter of 5 days, we stuccoed the wall, 2 coats of stucco on there. We went ahead and primed it, painted it, poured the slab, and set the gear, and had a meter in 5 days. So we are trying every which way to make sure that when utility companies can help us out and get stuff there, we jump through hoops to make it happen. We need them just as much as they need us. Just kidding. We need them way more than they need us. So, but it's good though, because we have temporary power that runs up to the villas right now. It's overhead power. So things like our crane operation on Monday are going to require us to do some power outages to be safe, maintain safe distances. But you know, why not have the belt and suspenders approach? We'll shut the power down for a couple hours while we fly the condensing units up onto A2. But pretty soon we're going to be able to go away from temporary power in the villas, which is nice. So that overhead aerial power line will go away. Just one less thing to work around.
One thing that I really like about that image is that it shows every stage of the building envelope as it stands right now. You can see through the opening the Tyvek waterproofing. You can see to the left, your guys' left.
This is the
Yeah,
left. This is the left one, right?
exactly.
So
You can see the foam.
this is all the foam here.
Yep. Next to that, you can see the stucco being applied. And then behind the SES, the equipment, you can see the priming and the paint there as well. So.
Yep.
We're construction nerds. It's kind of a cool thing to see.
Yeah, it's all the various layers that you were peeling back, so you guys get to see them. So, all right, here's a picture from the villas looking over building C. Yeah, sorry, I got to check. I feel bad. I should know better. So, anyway, what's this, Glenn?
I learned that it's called interduct. And the purpose of an interduct is when we put pipe in the ground, we typically bore it. And when we pull it back or trench it, the pipe that we put in the ground is about, 4 inches, right?
Yes, sir.
4 inches wide. So interduct is the same thing. It's essentially smaller conduit that fits inside the bigger conduit. That way you can run more electricity and data combined within the same bigger pipe, but divided through the little interduct. So.
Does everybody remember us when we started last year in like October, November, and we did all the early work stuff through campus? All that mess we were making? Tried not to, but we did. Yeah, so we put in all the pathways. Well, I shouldn't say all. We got a couple left, but we put in 90% of the pathways that would connect existing campus to Inspirata Pointe as far as connectivity is concerned. And I mean connectivity, which would be like your internet, your phone, your cable, all the fun stuff, right? The communication type based stuff, not the electrical side. But as Glenn said, this interduct fits inside, so we get 3 1-inch interducts and a 4-inch conduit. So this image is from phase 1, so this is the villas. The interduct that's going in, this goes into the north cul-de-sac, behind the garden homes on Royal Oak Road, parallel to Royal Oak Road all the way up to the guard shack, and then starting next week, we'll do some exploratory investigation. It's called potholing. We're gonna find some utilities that we have to cross. And then on Monday the 15th, we're gonna go ahead and shoot a bore from behind Garden Home 1001, underneath the road and right past the chapel and into the Royal Oaks campus so that they can pull a 144-strand fiber optic line out to the villas. So this is great stuff because it's starting to bridge our communication. We're far enough along that we're going to start bringing the communication stuff from Royal Oaks campus onto Inspirata Pointe. So good monumental work going on out there. Yeah, that absolutely is horizontal drilling. Fun stuff when it goes right. but it never goes right on a Friday at 3 o'clock. So this is building D again, the north elevation. You can see we got wall panels there. Along the west property line, we've got the footing excavated, and we've got concrete coming in 5:30 on Friday morning to go through and pour the footing there. So we'll talk about that in upcoming work. You can go to the next picture, Glenn. Has anybody got a guess what this is? It is a hallway. Very good. Very, very good. Yes. So this is the hallway. This is building D. Obviously, first floor, second, third, and fourth floor deck. So we've showed images of what it looks like from the outside. That's what it looks like on the inside. So this is as tall as the hallway will ever be, because we have to go through, and part of the waterproofing measures I was talking about, way up at this elevation, help protect everything down below, so we can insulate the floor line, do our fire-rated envelope at that area, and then in this space in here is where we just fill it just chock full of, if there's any chucks in the room, I'm sorry, but it's very full like that, in that space with ductwork, sprinkler pipe, domestic water, cold and hot. Refrigerant lines, yeah. What else is in there?
Cable tray for technology. Too.
Ah, yes, cable tray. Anything else? Bueller? No? A lot of utilities, though, so we're really fitting 10 pounds of stuff in like a 4.5 pound bag up there. But Glenn's been the guy that, one of the other things that Glenn's done is he's ran all the building information modeling meetings. So in past meetings, we've told you about all the computer-generated images and stuff that we do. Well, Glenn's one of the guys that sits behind the scenes and makes sure that all these ductworks and pipes and everything else fit in these spaces that we have. So it all is above the ceiling as opposed to below, because that would be a bad plan.
Yep. It's interesting. Go ahead.
These are public corridors, yes. Correct. So we have a fire-rated envelope that's a 1 hour containment envelope because it's a corridor, and we'll have all the utilities, and then we'll have below that, we'll have a drop ceiling similar to what we have in this space here with lights in it to illuminate the corridor. But this is the corridor, so if you lived in building D10 something or other, this may be your corridor. You might be getting used to your home. Yes, sir. So the question is, what do we do for sound mitigation between units? So we call them party walls. Party walls have an STC, which is a sound transmission coefficient rating on the contract drawings. Each one has a different STC rating depending upon what the engineer has gone through and designed or the architect has designed. So typically what those walls are is they're a wood stud wall filled solid with insulation. Then we call it furring channel. That goes on each side of the stud. What it does is instead of the sheetrock being attached directly to the stud, it's attached, I think, 1/2 or 5/8 inch off of the wood stud, and it screws to this metal channel. This metal channel is designed such that it helps reduce noise and vibration transmission through the wall. And then at the floor line and at the ceiling line, there's an acoustic caulking sealant that goes on top. And then the outlets, they get what we call them in the industry, call them putty pads. They're acoustic pads that go on the back sides of the boxes so that you can't get transmission, or it reduces noise transmission through the electrical boxes. So, yes, ma'am. Taller than this. No, in the units. So we've got two different ceiling heights. They are 9 and 10 foot. So all units will have those height differences. So the height difference is designed where the lower ceiling is where you have the HVAC system. So you'll have your individual air conditioning unit for your particular unit is up in the ceiling. So because of that, we had to drop the ceiling. But in the common spaces like bedrooms, living rooms, and kitchens, they're all taller. 10 feet. You're welcome.
Some of the kitchens are shorter. Some.
Yeah, depending upon the structure. But in general, especially right now through the villas, they're all taller in the villas. Thanks, Gretchen. All right. I feel like we've seen this before.
Yeah,
Is it deja vu?
it might have been.
Might have been. Okay. All right. So upcoming work. This is a great image. Please hold here if you don't mind.
I think the next one is the same image without the text.
Oh, is it?
No, highlight. Go ahead.
Okay. So the bottom of the screen here is the west property line. This is north, obviously. You've got Royal Oak Road here, and then north and south cul-de-sacs. So Friday morning at 5:30, we pour this foundation, and by the end of next week, we should have a 6-foot tall fence there. So we're starting to close in our outside perimeter. We are trying to get scheduled and coordinated to complete the rest of this footing that goes in here for the rest of the site fence. That's the 3/3, which it's 3 feet of masonry with 3 feet of wrought iron fencing on top of that. So that work is upcoming and progressing. Stucco application will be commencing towards the end of the month. Inside what you can't see from these images in A1 and A2 is the exterior breezeway. It's an outdoor open air corridor to walk from past the units. It gets a lightweight concrete topping, as do the second floor patios in both buildings. So we're scheduled to place that lightweight concrete topping on the 15th and 16th. What that does is allow us to put tile surfaces out on the patios, as well as be able to, once that amount of weight is on the structure, then we can go ahead and start applying the stucco. The great news is when we start stucco, and it's going to look really cool, because I was just meeting with the subcontractor the other day. It'll take them to do the first base coat of stucco. It'll take them 5 days to go around the building A1, the whole thing from slab on grade all the way up to the parapet. It'll take them another 5 days to put the finish coat on. So in 2 weeks, that whole building will be completely stuccoed, and the intent is that we roll right from A2 or A1 into A2. So that's what's upcoming at the villas. Some other upcoming work, I'm sure somebody's going to ask, so I'm going to beat somebody to the punch, is the north cul-de-sac work. I have a meeting on Friday morning with the demolition sub to find out what all work needs to happen in there and kind of our plan and process. Once I get all that information, I'll share that with Gretchen and the Royal Oaks team, and we'll start putting together a plan on what's going to happen up there. And our intent is to take care of the work up in this area and start bringing the finished grade and everything down through here. So that means curb and gutter and sidewalks, light pole bases, all sorts of things that make it look pretty and finished. We'll be doing that work while we're doing the stucco on the outsides of the buildings. For building B and C, by the time we meet next, we will have walls started on B1. We should be up through 3rd floor of building C. This concrete gets placed Monday morning. We will continue framing here and here on buildings D and E respectively. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll see columns standing. We've got a concrete placement for some portions of F.1 building coming up on the 12th of November. So we've got another masonry. We've got 2 more masonry towers to do. We've got the elevator and trash chute combination in D North, and then we also have the elevator and stair combo in building F. So you'll start seeing some more structures. The last vertical structures, masonry structures that come out of the ground, those will commence this month, and then you'll just start seeing walls getting stacked on top of walls. So it'll look like more buildings are happening. But there's also been work happening inside these buildings. More work over the next month. We'll be closing this area up here around inside the dog leg of building D. There's lots of mechanical, electrical, plumbing, refrigerant piping, fire sprinkler lines that are going in all these buildings right now. So we're busy moving through those. And maybe we'll probably be a good idea to grab some images of what some of that stuff looks like with the utilities involved, because we give lots of overview of the outsides of the buildings. Yes, sir.
So are you on schedule for your
Yes. Yep, you'll see that here in just a minute.
Could you repeat the question,
Oh,
please,
the question was, thank you. The question is are we on schedule for original plan? The answer is yes. We're still targeting for February 18th for the villas. That's A1, A2. And then we are on track for November for C, B, and F. And then March of March 22nd of 23 for buildings D and E. So, yes. Hi, Kendra. Yes. Correct. So Kendra's comment was when we get done with the villas, kind of what does it sort of look like? Sort of paint the picture for us. So, yes. So all the bushes, landscaping, rock, gates, fencing, dog park, all that stuff will all be done for this phase. This road will be all paved, and then we're going to take the job site fence that's out here, and we're going to move it right to here. It's going to be on the south side of the road there. So the people that end up living in the villas, when you back out of your driveway every morning, we'll just be there waving at you. But we'll be right there, and we have to have that kind of accessibility because there's parking spaces that are on the north sides of these buildings, and all we have to do is just pave the street. We need that additional real estate for some aerial booms. Not that building B and C are all that tall; they're only like 40-some feet tall. So, but we still need access to get in there with some aerial lift equipment and then some access for forklifts so we can set scaffold and get going on that. But that's what that sort of looks like. Does that answer all your? You're welcome. All right. What else we got going on next month, Glenn?
Well, before we move on, do you want to address the question of why
Oh,
building?
yeah. Thank you. So, all right, the parking garage goes half under this building, half under this building, all the way back over to here, and comes all the way down this direction. So, the reason why these two are further along is because our excavation limits were back to right about this location, coming this way. So all this was flat real estate that was available for work, and I said, well, why push it off? I mean, I don't want to be a procrastinator. Did too much of that in grade school. So I decided, let's move forward on this work and get going on it. It was available real estate. We had capabilities of getting all the underground and the foundations in, and that just opened up for being able to frame and get going. So if you guys have driven by, and if anybody's been really kind of trying to catch me to see if I'm paying attention to what's going on the schedule, you catch me here. This building has kind of stopped on the 4th floor, right? We've been up to the 4th floor for like a week and a half now, but I stopped because it's more focused to get onto here, right? So as we've been over here building, we're crewing up. We're getting more manpower out here, and what's going to happen next week is some of the guys we've got guys that do walls, we've got guys that do trusses, and we've got guys that do decking, and so we're going to get into a cycle of the wall guys are going to be kind of split up and go into the buildings, and the truss guys will follow, and the deck guys will follow the truss, and then it's just a wash, rinse, repeat type scenario. So that's what's kind of happening schedule-wise. So hopefully that answers your question of why we jumped the gun on buildings D and E, because we had some opportunity and availability, and we said let's get it done. So we're just that much ahead of the game. Yes, sir. Yeah, the question is building D North, are we pouring concrete this week? Yes, we are. This area that's yellow here, we will place that. I think that's looking in the neighborhood of 450 cubic yards, so about 45 concrete trucks, starting at 2 a.m. on Monday morning. Yes. Is there a wall on the south side? So there will be. There is a wall that we are required to put in that runs from here to here, and that's it. But we're not going to close that off right now because that would choke down our access to the job site from our staging area. So we're leaving that open for now, but as we get closer to the end, that'll be something that we put in. But there's an existing wall that is on the north side of the body shop here. That remains. We've got some landscaping that we do along that line, that fence line to kind of enhance the beauty of it. So, thanks, Glenn. Good job.
Before you leave that image, I have a question that might be appropriate you could point out. They want to know what pipes they see sticking out of the ground in the south cul-de-sac. I think they're talking about the backflow.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of things that are here. So we've got a train here that is the water meter and the backflow preventer that feed building F. So that is it's kind of got like a slight little kick or dog leg in it, and that's in this location. If you're, man, I'm sorry,
you want the laser pointer?
No, you got it. So up in that kind of really, really tippy portion over there, we've got a backflow that's and a Siamese connection. That's called the fire department connection. That is the backflow preventer for the fire line that feeds building F. So,
What is a backflow preventer?
a backflow preventer allows water to go this away and not this away. So, what happens on a fire line? Let's say there's an incident and the fire truck needed to, Sun City Fire Department needed to respond. What they would do is they'd pull their pump truck out, and they have to code requirements is that we have to have a hydrant within 75 feet and not across the street from the fire department connection. So they'll go ahead and they'll connect one hose to the fire hydrant. The other end of that hose goes to their truck. Another hose goes from the truck to the fire department connection. And what that pump truck does is it has so much power in it, it actually sucks water out of the hydrant and forces it through the fire main into the building. And the backflow prevents any water, just in case they shut a valve or that something breaks, that nothing happens and water flows back the direction into the main line and contaminate the main line. So that's what happens on a backflow preventer. More information than you guys thought you were going to get on a Wednesday morning. Yes, sir. Are the units sprinklered? Yes, they are. This is a fully sprinkled building. Corridors, units, everything. Yes, sir. The only thing that's not sprinkled is the attic space in the units, or especially the roof top floor units. So in the villas, it would be second floor. B and C would be third. D and E would be fourth floor. Those units are not sprinkled in the attic because they are a full fill cavity with insulation. So wonderful. All right. Any other questions, comments on this slide? What's next? Oh, we already covered this one.
Yep.
Are we on time? Yes. Next slide, please.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look,
Without
same
the
image
text.
again. All right. Any more questions, thoughts, comments? Yes, sir. Is there any bicycle parking? Man, you are really good at stumping me with parking questions.
Yes, there is bicycle parking. In the parking garage, we have a bicycle rack and we have a kayak rack.
Thanks, Gretchen. You
welcome.
save me from embarrassing moments again. I do enough of these. Great question. Thanks. If you guys want to ask me what color the corridors are next month, I'll make sure I have an answer ready for you. But I've kind of been looking at structure stuff lately. Yes.
I have a question for Gretchen or Andrew. When will the villas be available for this actually going inside?
The question is when will the... Oh, asking for a friend, huh? Asking for a friend, when will the villas be available for a tour?
Well, I can tell you that the site is not ready for anyone to walk on it other than the tradespeople. It's very unsafe. It's uneven footing. There's stuff everywhere. It's clean job site, but there's definitely stuff everywhere. We are hoping to do tours, some dusty shoe tours, but we need the job site to be accessible so that you can even get to the villas and we don't have to worry about your footing and stumbling. The steps to get up to the villas, just from the dirt, your first step in on top of the slab, it seems like it's 2 feet in some
Yeah, it's
places.
18 inches actually. So.
Yes, so to even just to step into the villas is a giant 2-foot step, and not everybody can do that up, and certainly not everybody can do that down. So we just need to get everything a little more accessible and safe for everybody, because as Glenn mentioned, first thing in the presentation is Sundt has a first priority of safety.
Yeah, the other things that we got to do is, we'd have to get well past the scaffolding situation. You're gonna kind of be partial contortionist to get into the building. We've got some areas, but sometimes you got to sneak through some others that are a little tricky. So we can.
Will that be January or December?
January. It'll be in January. Yep. Yes, sir. So the question was in the original design, did the roof allow for the load of photovoltaic solar panels? I do not know the answer to that question. I was not involved in all the preliminary design stuff, but we've got a meeting with the architect today, so I'd be glad to ask him that question and see if he ever went through that process. So, but good question, great question. Anything else? All right. So what's the next slide, Glenn? Our next one is on December 1st, Wednesday again. Shocking that it's on a Wednesday. I'm glad people can catch my dry humor. So we'll see you on Wednesday, the December 1st. So more importantly, all you guys and gals have a wonderful and blessed and safe travel Thanksgiving with you and your families. Hope you enjoy the holiday, and hope you get to see some friends and family and kin. And we look forward to seeing you back here on December 1st. Thank you.